y'all? It's your boy Coach T. Welcome to another episode of Live. Today we got my boy Coach Diego Morris in the building, man. Welcome to the Live, man. I appreciate you pulling up, man.
For sure.
So you know how this go, man. Just real quick before we get into our main topic of the day, let's touch a little bit on your journey coaching and how you came in, do training and coaching, and talk about how you come to that,
All right, so for everybody, I'm from Yonkers, New York.
Right.
I was born in Harlem, raised in the Bronx, and then moved to Yonkers. So before I started coaching at Sonis High School, which happens to be my alma mater, I was training for about 3-4 years. I just finished, kind of wrapping up my own basketball career, came back home. Now I'm home and I'm training. I'm trying to get back to the youth, etc.
Right.
And so once I did that, I had some kids, young guys, middle school, starting to go to high school. So eventually I reached back out to my alma mater at Sonis High School. Coach Nicodemo. Got with him, started helping him out with developing the skills of the kids. He had some good X's and O's. The kids were struggling to execute them because the skill wasn't there. So it was kind of like a really good match between the two of us once we kind of got it together. Next thing you know, we went 40 and 0 actually.
40 and 0?
40 and 0 in Yonkers conference play. Not 40 and 0 overall, but 40 and 0 in Yonkers conference play. Yeah, so in conference play we went 40 and 0, which was obviously spectacular.
Absolutely.
Got to a place that we've never been in. I think it was like 50 years, if I'm not mistaken. I kid you not. So we got to the county center. We played Mount Vernon. It was a great game. The year that we were there, Derek Felder Jr. He's at the University of Tampa now. Originally went to Herkimer Community College. Got a Division II offer at the University of Tampa. He's still playing there now. He got into foul trouble. So it was tough. And this is the Mount Vernon team that had Marlon Smith, that's now at LSU. Also, Meach was playing. He was at St. Thomas Aquinas. They was loaded. Jason Stan, who formerly was at George Mason. He just transferred this year actually.
I know
they were stacked as you can imagine. So we ended up losing by 9 with our best player being in foul trouble in the first half. Shout out to our guys, Anthony Miller. We had Derek Felder. We had a nice team, man. I kid you not, we had a really good team. And then I ended up leaving. I took a college coaching job actually at LaGuardia Community College. That following year, and then the same Sonis team, they went and they played Mount Vernon again the following year, which they lost both years. But a compliment to what Nicodemo does, behind the scenes, my training, helping them with the skills.
Absolutely.
Boom. Next thing you know, they've been a powerhouse for some years in Yonkers. And gained some notoriety. Moved on to LaGuardia. Was coaching at LaGuardia Community College. Unfortunately, the college didn't want the sports anymore. So they exited both programs, boys and girls basketball.
Focusing on the arts, no more.
Yeah, focusing on the arts. That was it. It was over. So boom. Fast forward. Now I'm at IONA Prep High School. I'm assistant coach with the varsity. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. My training business, training detail. Obviously the name is because that's what I do. I work on the small details, the things that are going to help you in the fourth quarter. Everybody's great in the first quarter. In the fourth quarter, we still need you to perform. We still need you to defend. We still need you to make a play and be efficient at that play. So that's one of the things. One of our better players, RJ Green, who you interviewed not too long ago, he was our main scorer. And he took a lot of what we were doing, skill work, etc., and he applied it to his game. Went to the foul line a ton, and if anybody who really scores, they know you go to the foul line. That's where you get your points.
At least 6-7 times a game.
Yeah, at least 6-7
times a game. You're getting in the high teens to the 20s.
Absolutely, every time, because you're getting 6 to 7, 8 points per game, free.
Exactly.
So now you add a couple fast breaks. run a couple plays effectively.
Absolutely.
Now you closing in on 20 points and you barely had to work.
Absolutely.
So if you can stay efficient, those are the things that'll happen for you. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. You know, I've been doing it now for 11 years. 11 years training. Okay. You know, based out in Yonkers.
Okay.
Helping a lot of my Yonkers guys get better. Got a lot of my younger guys who are now older.
Right.
They're in colleges. You know, like Jaden Smith, Keyshawn Miller. I heard them in college.
Right.
I had Justin Daoud, who just finished at SUNY Delhi, won another championship. He won a championship at Herkimer. So he's another guy. My man, Pop Anthony Miller, another guy, went out to Farmingdale, killed for 4 years. Did what he did, and that's a small guard.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about, bro. It's about getting a free education,
absolutely,
having fun, and winning, bro. Winning is people try to downplay winning like it's not a good thing, like it's not a point on any level.
Absolutely,
winning is winning, bro.
Winning is winning.
Winning is winning. You can't take away a chip, man. You cannot take away a chip, especially if you're a pivotal part of it.
Absolutely,
I'd rather be a part of a chip at a D2 than be on the bench at a D1, and not be a part of that chip. Facts, bro.
Absolutely,
we gotta get our priorities right.
We gotta get our priorities. I mean, because what do we play sports for?
Right.
We don't play sports to lose.
Right.
You play to win.
Absolutely.
You accept losing, but you have to work hard in order to win. And
Absolutely.
I mean, you hear all the pros say it all the time, yo, I won a chip, and then I never got back to the championship game ever. Or you get guys like Charles Barkley,
right?
Yo, I went to the chip a couple times, never could get a chip.
Right.
I mean, Michael Jordan cut a lot of people's careers short.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, that's a whole nother story. But you know how that goes, man. So, you know, shout out to the people who understand the grind, man.
Absolutely, man. And I think that's dope, training detail, because a lot of people train, and it's not a knock on no other trainers at all. Everybody got their own type of niche that they do, but I like the detail part. And I know a few trainers out there that's like that, that's real, very, very into the details, and that's important. Because so many times that I see training out there, and it's like the kid is doing something, but it's repetition, but it's repetition. It's repeated wrong. Like he's repetitively repeating the same thing wrong. So it's, you know what I mean. So now he's practicing bad habits, wrong behavior, and it translates to the game, and it's like, what's going on? He's always in the gym. This kid is working hard, working on the wrong things. Or he's working on things that's not tailored to his game, that he's never going to be able to do or be allowed to do during the season.
There was a parent, right? So I
transitioning right into what we're about to talk about anyway.
Quick story, man. There was this parent, man, you know, training his son, and his son was a heavy kid. Right? Like he wasn't this slim, super athletic kid. He was a heavy kid. He wasn't fat or nothing like that, but he just was a heavy kid.
Right.
And his thing, he was obsessed with Kimber Walker.
Okay.
Like totally obsessed with Kimber Walker. So of course, shout out Kimber. Right. Shout out Kimber Walker. BX stand up. You're ready. So it's like, yo, you're training your son to do something that he physically cannot do. Right. And that becomes the issue with a lot of kids, and they unwillingly they unwillingly not know what's going on, because what ends up happening is they're listening to their parents, and their parent happens to be giving them some bad information. And you know, unfortunately, this is what we again segue into what we're talking about. This is what we were talking about.
So real quick, before we segue right into that, I want, you know, today's topic, right in the coach's corner, we basically wanted to touch on, like, you know, get the coach's perspective side of things as far as dealing with the parents and family members alike. That's, you know, that's part of the kid's process and his journey in basketball. And we're grateful. Let me put that out there. We're grateful for you guys. The kids need that support. Definitely need that support. I would never knock you for being supportive of your kid, right? But it's a thin line between being supportive, right, and then being just
in the way,
or what's the word I like to use, is being delusional. I'm sorry, that's the word. That's the word we like, delusional, like, because it's delusion. We got to start being. We have to start accepting, right, our kids for who they are, right? That's number one. Yep. We need to really focus on and hone in on what they need to work on, and what position they're going to be, and maximize, right? Especially at a certain age, I'm big on maximizing the potential that the kid has. So whatever he does good, I'm going to maximize that and make it great. So if it's defense, listen, bro, you already 17, 16.
We're going to make you pat.
We're going to make you pat, right. You understand?
We're
going to make you pat. We get caught up in, he got, my kid is this. And it's like, I hate, like, I will never you will never hear me kid here and say, he's a bum. I won't flat out say, I just won't. Like, because, you know what I mean? Unless you take me there. But I will never, ever really say that. Because honestly speaking, most times that comes from the parents. It's never the kids, you understand? Absolutely. And we get caught up in, we go back up with the parent, we might call the kid, your kid not even, he's a bum. Not meaning it that way. Right. But sometimes it's like, we got to really understand this, right? Everybody's not going D1. I know they get tired of me saying that, but it's the truth. Everybody's not going D1. Everybody, you know what I mean?
The numbers suggested.
Numbers suggested. Everybody's not going to. So you got to understand, like I said, understand the earlier the possible, the trajectory of the path that your kid is on, right? And stop taking it so personal. And granted, I know it's hard because that's your kid, that's your flesh, your blood. But that's one thing that I've learned was to take the personal relationship out of it and just treat it as as like I'm a coach, as if I'm a scout, as if I'm part of that business side of it. Because it keeps you grounded, you understand? It keeps you grounded, and I can always tell my brother the real and never sugarcoat it, never be like, oh, nah, you better than what you are. Right. I can never do that. He knows that. That's why, you know, it's like that. It has to be that way. It has to be that way because it keeps a kid grounded, it keeps him humble, and it keeps him always working. Like, okay, I'm not there yet. I'm not there. Even if they are to that point, nah, listen, you're not in NBA, you're not in college yet. You know what I'm saying? And most of y'all, even in the tri-state area, you played the kids in the tri-state area. You might have went to 1 or 2 camps, did your thing, that's one game. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, one game.
Right,
you know
just
what I'm
be
saying?
1 day, right?
So it's a lot that come to with it, and I'm so big in the long grind. Y'all know my slogan is a marathon because I like it later. Now, you get it now, you become complacent. I don't care who you are. For the most part, you get a couple offers, you're a kid. All of you, even if it's this much, you become okay. I got the offer. You take. You understand? I know that.
Or even with that, right? You get a Division III offer, right? You don't want to post it.
Don't want to post, right?
You don't want to post that.
Right.
Which is disrespectful to that coaching staff.
Right. Absolutely.
First off,
absolutely.
Let's be very clear.
Absolutely.
When someone is offering you, you should give them respect.
Absolutely.
Of saying, hey, I appreciate what you have done by extending me some form of an offer. Now we know Division III.
Before I forget my fault, shout out to Khalil Brantley. He did that. Winston-Salem State, CIAA. A lot of people don't know. Oh, what's that? Yeah, Division II, HBCU, and they got great history. Great history. Black Jesus. Google it. He went there. Absolutely. I'm not telling you who that is. Google it. But go ahead.
Right now, you
I gotta really put that out there. He put a jersey at it and all that. Everything. What's that? Yeah. Shout out to Khalil for that. But
no question. Khalil, that's one of my guys. Yeah. I love that dude. Love his game. Love his attitude. Absolutely. Shout out to his pops.
Absolutely. Humble.
Pops is hard on him, but it's showing why, because he's actually doing well. So,
absolutely.
You know, again, you should give the respect to those coaching staffs. Now you get a Division II. You don't want to post it till you get your first Division I.
Right.
Well, you know, as you get to become an upperclassman, you know, not for nothing, if you ain't get a Division I yet, you might not be getting one. So stop waiting to the end. Yo, I'm going to sign late. Sign late where? Because, all of a sudden, Calipari is coming in the building? No, it's not happening. Absolutely. If you are not that 4 to 5 star recruit, that's not going to happen for you. Now, a person like Jordan Tucker, who's a 6'7" shooter, he had offers from other places, and at the last minute, Duke came in. Right. He ended up going to Duke. Now, not a knock to other kids, but he's in a different class as far as what we normally see in the state of New York.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, we don't have that many 4 and 5 star recruits in the state of New York. So we have to understand that was kind of an aberration.
Absolutely.
In New York. We get some kids, you know, shout out to guys like Jose,
right.
You know, Joe Girardi, right? Like, there's guys that can play, don't
right.
Like, let's not be fooled.
Absolutely.
But in the same token, there's just not a lot of them.
Absolutely.
So when it does happen, it's not normal, and we have to understand that. And to the parents out there, that, as we talk about this, being a freshman on varsity in a tough conference like the Catholic League, that's not normal
at all.
It's not normal,
and this goes like years.
Right, this goes like years. Like, and I mean, guys were really, really, really good. Like, let's not be fooled. You know, I could personally speak about it because he's family. Jared Lockhart, who is still the all-time leading scorer at Mount St. Michael.
Shout out Jared Lockhart, bro. Shout out.
Like, he couldn't play freshman. He couldn't play varsity as a freshman.
Right.
And, you know,
he should have. He should have. If you know anything, he could have and he should have.
He definitely should have. Right. And, you know, shout out to Freya, who's still at Mount St. Michael's, a great coach. And, I mean, he's still an all-time leading scorer, and that's only with 3 years.
Right.
So imagine if he had an additional year, who knows what that number would have been like.
Absolutely.
When you start talking about a bucket, that guy was a bucket. Like, and that's a fact, and that's not cap because he's family. Right. I'm saying that because that's real.
Right.
You know, so getting into this, you know, we have the player coach parent dynamic is really difficult because what happens is there's a fence that you're teetering on, right? You know, there's a fence that your team on. You always want to be respectful to a parent for their child.
Right.
That's first and foremost. Now, when you start to tell the truth now is the new hate.
Right. Well, how is right? The truth is the new hate. Absolutely.
I'm not hating you.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you exactly what it is. Hey, listen, your kid can shoot, but your kid can't dribble the ball. So stop requesting that your kid has more ball handling assignments.
Right.
You're gonna turn it over. Absolutely. And if you're gonna continue to turn it over, that's not helping the team. Because at the end of the day, we are coaches, and we help kids outside the four lines. But at the end of the day, we are hired to win basketball games. We're not really supposed to be going out there to lose and to say, hey, listen, I'm going to give your kid a shot at dribbling poorly, right, turning the ball over and having our team suffer. It just can't happen that way.
You got to understand, especially on a high school level. It's not AAU now. It's two different things.
Right.
And I mean, in AAU on the up and down level, we have the wiggle room. When you get to high school, even high school and high school AAU, that dynamic change. The coach is not dealing with, like, it's like that you. It's sad because the kid gets the brunt of it all. A lot of times it would be the kids, it'd be the parents. It'd be the parents, and then it translates down to the kids. You know what I mean?
We have, as coaches, right? I say this generally a lot. We have 2 hours with your child. You have 22.
Right.
So the influence that you have is 10 times greater than ours. So what happens is if you're giving them that bad information, they're not listening to us any further, because we only have them for 2 hours.
Right.
Now, and if you're not at that elite level, you know, with guys like, for instance, like a kid like Bryce Willis, right? Like he's an elite level kid.
Right.
He was at IONA Prep. Ty Jerome, another kid, Matt Ryan. Like we could go through a list of some of the kids.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they were at that level, so they had a little more wiggle room.
Right.
And like everybody knows, when you are the best player, you get more rope.
That's just the reality.
That's just the reality of it. And what the parents are doing are hurting the kids, because when we tell them the truth, we tell them that they need to do more, work on this, X, Y, or Z. What happens is when they go to college, they're in for a culture shock. And then you wonder why the transfer portal is full. We wonder why this kid didn't make it at this school or that school or this place or that place. Is because you have set them up for failure by pampering them, by overdoing it with, you know, calling the coaches, emails. You want to speak to the athletic directors. You want to speak to this boss, and that boss.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you haven't addressed your child. And what you can address is get them better.
Absolutely.
The bottom line, and that's what we deal with, because we see them 6 times a week. At IONA Prep, we practice 6 times a week.
Okay.
Like most high school programs,
right?
You practice 6 times a week, and you go for 2.5 hours. Absolutely. And next thing you know, I've seen your kid. So if you're telling me your kid did this, you know, on a particular Saturday, that's fine. I see him every day. Did it once on Monday.
Right.
I haven't seen it again until next Tuesday.
Absolutely. Consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency. And I tell kids all the time, right? And this is just me. I could be wrong, but I feel like if it's something you feel like you can do, right? Let's say if it is a boy in assignment, and you're working on it, right? And you get your time to do it in the game. And this is what I see. So if you're working on it, right, and the opportunity presents itself, the kid, like, they won't do it, right? And this is an example I'm giving. I'm not even going to use a name, but I know a kid that was the thing. He wasn't putting the ball on the floor. I'm like, yo, put the ball on the floor. Oh, the coach don't let me, bro. You're in the game the entire game. You play the whole game. There's opportunity. You have to build his confidence. So when it presents itself, if you do it and you're successful, he's like, oh, okay, he's been working on it.
Right.
It's like you wait to do it at the wrong time, turn it over, and then you be mad. Yeah, absolutely. Now you can't.
Absolutely. Listen,
you can't do it. That's why if you're working on it and the opportunity presents itself, start doing it gradually. Don't wait till one day like I'm gonna do it now and then turn it over when you've been. No, that's not how it works. Like, especially if you're getting the playing time. I see it too many times. Like, I get it. You become a robot. Oh, the coach said okay, but you're in the game, the whole game. Especially if your role's already etched out. You know your role. You know you playing. You find opportunity now. Okay, coach, I've been working on it. Show it now.
Right.
Boom, you get through, make the right play, good. Now you build the confidence of the coach. You know what I mean?
Because what happens is, as coaches, we're not so strict and so confined to you must this, that, or the third, right? Like you can free play for the most part within the system. And so what happens is, hey, listen, if you got a mismatch and you don't need to pass the ball, don't pass it, take it. But don't say, yo, I had a mismatch, they ain't giving me the ball. You had the ball, you didn't score.
You passed, and that's
passed it up.
And then,
hey, listen, you seen the mismatch, I seen the mismatch,
and then
you passed the
why.
ball. Yo, listen, I'm not letting you do that anymore.
Exactly.
Because you already showed that you didn't have the confidence
to do it.
And
then they blame the coach. And I'm like, but you can't blame the coach. I'm like, you know why? And this is the reason why. oh, but coach said last time, because last time that was a bad play.
Right.
He probably was, during the moment, the coach can't pull you out and have a whole conversation. It's not going to happen.
Don't have no time.
It's not have no time.
Right.
So you got to understand that 9 out of 10, he's talking about that play.
Right.
Don't dribble. He's like, yo, I don't want you dribbling under the ball. Yeah, because you bugging out right now, but not forever. Like,
not forever.
It's not, and we get caught up in that, and it's like, okay, you know your handle's weak, then you work on it, right? You working it. You show what you're working on. When like I said, opportunity presents in the game, presents up in the game. You try it, but it's not within the flow of the game.
Right.
Within the system.
Just don't
rebound and go coast to coast with some crazy. No,
it's not necessary.
Right.
I mean, you know, if you've been working on playing around at the end of your training session, when you're practicing, and you're doing your little Steph Curry half court thing, that doesn't mean you should do that.
Right.
That's not something that you're really working on. But I give an example of a kid that we had, Keyshawn Jones. Right. So this was his senior year. So in his junior year, you know, latter part of the season, he came on strong. Right. And it was like, oh, hey, you obviously been doing something. Right. And I know that he's been working with you and some other people, whatever the case may be. It worked. Right. It worked. That the bottom line, it worked. He started performing better, being more efficient towards the end of his junior year. So coming into his senior year, of course, we have some confidence in him, and he proved himself this year. He got a couple early season tournament MVPs. Right. He did well, and he became a key component that you had the game plan for. Right. Because he worked on what it was. He made sure that he was confident, and he executed it. And it's something that everybody can do, but your time has to come. Right. It doesn't come because you worked out, oh, I did lab work for a week. Yo, I'm nice. It takes time. It takes time because the one thing you can't cheat, no matter what you do, where it's at in life, you can't cheat time. Right. You cannot cheat time. There's nothing that you can do. You can't make it go faster, and you definitely can't make it go slower. Even quarantine didn't slow down life. Absolutely. So with that being said, you know, work on your game, talk to your coaches, work on what they feel you need to improve. Just like when you go to college, because when you go to college, you might be a role player. And if they say, hey, listen, you're going to be a defensive stopper, you better work on your feet. You better work on your lateral movement. If they say you're going to be a shooter, you better be working on shooting every day and knocking down open shots, because that's what you're there for. You're not there to convert from a 4 to a point guard. Not happening. It's definitely not in college. Not happening.
Absolutely. Just to piggyback off what you said, like talking about, again, Keyshawn, like you said, his junior year, he came on strong late. And I remember just having conversations with him, hit him in the DM, like, yo, bro, listen, bro, it starts with you with confidence. Like, he been working. Like I said, not even me. His pops, his brother, my pops, you know, that's who worked him out. His dad, his brother, my pops. Like, I just seen him, I've been around him a long time, and I'm like, yo, bro, it starts with, it's one thing to feel, you can do something, but it's one thing is feeling and saying it, right? But it's another thing to do it, right?
Absolutely.
So you can always feel like, nah, I'm like, yo, confidence is what you do. It's more than a feeling.
Yes.
It's more than just a feeling. Elite level confidence is knowing, like, you know. So when elite level confidence is knowing, automatically you're gonna come out and play a certain way. Yep. You know what I mean? And regardless of who's saying what the coach is saying. And like I was telling a few people that I'm like, elite level confidence is the Kobe's and the Jordans of the world. Absolutely. And we make fun of them, like, oh, they don't pass the ball, they nuts. No, it's next play on. I missed this next shot, then I know that I'm not gonna miss the next shot. You understand? I missed this 2 in a row. I know I have a back. Kobe was good for this, and I can't speak so much for Jordan. And I love Jordan. I watch Jordan, but I know this much more about Kobe. Let Kobe have a bad game. He's due for 10 games in a row of 30. And these are facts. You understand? And that's elite level confidence, bro. That's he go on streaks of 30, 10 games, 40 after having a bad game.
And it's crazy because he's the type of guy that pays it. Now, this is where my detail comes in. Right. He pays attention to detail. Right. So he had this bad game. Let's just say he had a bad game against Miami, right? So now I had a bad game versus Miami. Hey, I was missing my short corner pull-ups. Right. I was missing my elbow pump fakes. And I might have been missing my turnaround on the left block. Right. All right, cool. For him, he's staying at the end of that game, and he's working on all those things he did wrong until he satisfies himself of how many shots he needs to make. And personally, I know that he's a guy that always makes 20 or more per spot. Right. So if he's not making 20 and he has to make at least 18 out of the 20, he's not moving on to the next spot. Exactly. So at some point, if you really are in a slump, you might end up shooting 100 of that one spot. And now by the next game, hence why he can drop 30 and why he kept going to this spot, killing them from this area, because he worked on it the night or 2 nights prior that much. And that's something that people have to understand. And I mean, if you read his book, he says it a lot, the Mountain Mentality book. If you read that, he explains it in great detail what it means to put in more time in the gym than the next person.
Yep, absolutely.
It's numbers, right? Everybody's analytical. Everybody's into these numbers. Well, use the numbers and apply it to yourself, right? It's just like using a smartphone, and the only thing you do with it is make phone calls. It's called a smartphone for a reason. There's so many different things you can do with it. Utilize it. Absolutely. And that's what you have to do in the basketball game, and that's something that that you should be doing. And I think, parents, I just say for parents, encourage hard work. Don't baby them. Push them more than they want to be pushed. You know your child, I get it. Don't get me wrong. But you also have to push them beyond that. Start allowing them to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it's only going to propel them for the next level of whatever it is that they're doing. So if they're going from freshman to sophomore or from senior to college, it's only going to propel them by you continuously pushing them a little beyond their comfort zone, because then they will be able to function in that realm of uncomfortability.
Absolutely. And so going back, because I didn't even finish, my fault. Going back, shout out to you, Keyshawn, for a strong season, bro. I just wanted to finish up with that real quick, because I didn't finish my statement as far as this season. So coming into this season, you strong season, and I feel like you reached that as far as the confidence go, you reached that level to where it showed like overall, and it wasn't just scoring. You did a lot of everything, bro. You rebounded, assists, everything was put together, and it was never a question. You was a leader, bro, and like I didn't have to question, and anybody can speak for that. Like coming to the games this season, like you could see, like you took a big step as far as your leadership in itself, and that was big for me.
Example.
You live by example, you know what I mean? By you was talking and leading by example, and like I said, the attitude, like the energy that you brought to the game. I was proud of you, bro. So shout out to you, and like the transition you made throughout your 4 years of high school. Just because your name was brought up, I just want to shout you out, bro. You're my guy. But anyway, going back to the whole parenting, the dynamic with the parents and the coaching. What do you feel like is a healthy relationship? Like, what's the healthy relationship between the parent and coach? Like, how does that look? Like, how it's not clearly it's not constant, hitting me up. Like, how is it? How does that look to you?
It's knowledgeability, right? Like, so if I give you an example, if you come to our IONA prep game, we do a lot of sets, right? So if you're a parent and you feel like your kid is a kid that just needs a lot of isolation basketball,
right?
Our program is probably not for you,
right?
And you have to be able to identify those things. Now, if you want and you say, hey, listen, I love your program. I know my kid is an isolation basketball player. Hey, listen, what can he work on? That's how you should have that conversation. What should he do? How can we work on it? And then you should encourage that as a parent. That, hey, listen, you're working towards something. You're not going to continue to work on, your double cross pull up, because you're very good at that already.
Right.
Let's start working on the things that you need to fit in on the floor, what you need, because again, this all translates to college. Because what do you have when you get to college? You always got somebody coming in the following year, right? And there's always somebody really gunning for your spot. And then secondly, you have to perform. Your playtime is based on your performance. It has nothing to do with, I don't want to say nothing, but it has very little to do with your particular relationship with any one coach on that coaching staff. It has more to do with what you're doing productively. Because if I go to my head coach and I say, because we brought his name up earlier, Keyshawn Jones, and I say, hey, listen, we should give Keyshawn a chance at doing this.
Right.
We should give RJ a chance at doing this. Hey, what do you think about doing this with Isaac Gonzalez? Because, he's been able to, or he's been showing that he can.
Right.
And that's the ammunition that the assistant coaches have to bring to the head coach. And that's the way that it works, because it's the chain of command.
Absolutely.
Right? So player comes to assistant goes to either the head assistant coach or the head coach. Right. And now we're having a conversation about this particular kid, about whatever the situation that we want to present them. And that's how it works. And if you can continue to do that and prove that, that's what you want. That's what you should be talking about. Not saying how, well, that player was able to do this. Why can't my player?
Right.
Your player is not as good as that player that you're referring to. So when you do that, it just becomes a mess, and that's what coaches and parents alike don't like. Because when you do that with a coach, we don't really want to have a conversation with you. We're going to give it to you out of respect.
Right.
But the conversation is going to be short and sweet.
Right.
And that's not really what you want when you're asking questions. So in order to get a more realistic, in-depth answer, you know, I would say, hey, listen, what can my child do? And that goes boy or girl. What can my child do to fit in your program, your style, your philosophy, whatever it may be, and it's only going to help them down the line as their career continues to grow and flourish.
Absolutely. And it's tough, bro, because coaching and having a relative, having a brother that plays, right? So I'm more so objective now to both sides than I was before I started coaching. Like, before I started coaching, it's funny, like, I would talk, you know what, now I think about it, before I started coaching, I would, you know, be on the sidelines talking, but when I started coaching, I got worse as a when I started coaching, I got worse as a spectator, like, I'm not as a fan or as a relative, like, I'm like, yo, like, because now you feel like you know everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you feel like, and it's like, you know, I had to take a look at myself and be like, you know what, I need to be more understanding to the coaching side of it, because when I had to deal with things, it wasn't until I got dealt with my own BS that I realized, man,
right. This
is too much, man. Quick story. Like, I'm a 90. Quick story. We got a tournament, right? And we in a chip game. We up by like 30.
Right.
We up by like 30, right? This kid right on my team, I love him to death. I'm not even going, you know, I love you, bro. You know I love you to death. So he wasn't great, but he worked hard. He wanted this. So I used to play him. I found the way for him to play every game, bro. You know, not playing in a minute. So the tougher games, like, he wouldn't play that much. And I know the parents felt like, oh, you know, he's been working hard. You know, you even been saying he's been doing better. You've been playing against certain teams. And I never forget it, Coach Mike, my guy, he's like, yo, I told you. He's like, yo, you can't, even if the kid is doing good, you can't do that because you sending the wrong message to the parent. Right. Like, even though you're trying to build the kid's I'm big on building confidence, bro. Right. I'm a confidence builder because you get the most out of your kid. Absolutely. I'm never going to shit like, yo, oh my, that's what my kids love. Confidence builder, bro. I don't care if you're the tough man. I'm big on that, building up the confidence. So and he was like, you gotta be careful because it might come back to bite you because the kids start thinking they're better than what they are. Right. And I'm like, nah, he should be crying. We winning. He played a little bit. He didn't play a lot. Right. So I'm like, you know what? And the mom is yelling at me across the thing. You know what I mean? And another parent was co-signing, and mind you, her kid is playing. Anyway, whatever. That's irrelevant. So I put the kid in. I'm like, you know what? I'll put him in, right? So he goes, he's upset. We pressing. I like pressing. I coach defense. Like I always say. So we pressing. He gets in the game, right? He's mad because he's on the guy hard. Right. He fouls the guy, right? Right away, I'm like, whatever, right? Guy get free throws. We up by 20. I'm telling you, we have 20. It's like 2 minutes left, right? So now we get on offense. We take the ball and give it to the guard. The kid goes and takes the ball from the guard to try to dribble the ball off the court to go. They want him stealing from him. The kid in three. Make a long story short, I'm not going into it. They want him to come back in with them 4, bro. It was 2 and some change left. The parents is yelling at me. I'm like, yo, my players is yelling at me. And they like, yo, coach, you wild. I said, nah, we gonna lose it. We gonna today. Everybody gonna listen. Everybody gonna listen today. Everybody's gonna learn lesson.
We gonna have on today.
No funny
business.
The only reason why I did it is because Will, and you know that's my guy. He looked at me and looked at his eye, bro, coach, please, coach. I'm like, all right, bro, because he worked, he worked and I felt, I'm like, you know, you're right, bro. To give it away like that, we was up 20. Right. So I wound up, slugging them out. We gotta win the game by like, we gotta going back up 15. That's crazy. Yo, this is a 2 minute and change span, bro. Like, it happens that quick. It happens that quick, bro. So that quick. That was, so after the game, we still won. Everybody, mom came, it was a confrontation. And again, it wasn't nothing crazy because I don't know, it's a female, so I'm not, you know what I mean? But it was just from that point, I'm like, yo, wow. As much as I do for her son, like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, he wouldn't be on no team. You know what I'm saying? And put it in, I'm like, he wouldn't make any team. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, not that I did it for him, but I will never take credit for nothing that I do because I do it because I love it. So it's not that I did this, but I generally forget about the stuff that I told him. Like, I'm crossing that bridge, I'm burning them tires out, and I'm putting that gas in there, you know what I mean? And they understand a lot of times, like, for the most part, even if you are a coach, you're not, the salary, you're not in NCAA, bro. So we're not getting paid how you think, like, it's not, even AAU, we're not getting paid, bro. We do not get nowhere near the money. Right. If you put the money versus the hours you put in, we be making... Right. We be like immigrants, man. We be like immigrants. So it kills me sometimes when some of the parents like, oh, the coach this, that, or the coaches. Like, no, like, yo, the Muslims don't get paid, bro. So we have to use our platforms like social media, whatever. Like, it's not about clout. None of that. I hear that too much. All this clout. What? They doing this for, like, most people, all right, I'm not speaking for everybody, but a lot of people that do this, yo, y'all gotta show more love, bro. They doing it for free, and I appreciate it because a lot of us didn't have that. It was a long gap and a long in between time, and I primarily put that towards the crack epidemic, like, and that's a whole nother situation. Right. But like, as far as mentors coming back and teaching us the positives, and not like, yo, going to the corner and getting the, you know what I mean, and getting a corner. Money, like, we didn't have that a lot. So now you have an influx of a lot of, you know what I mean, minority men coming back to their communities and doing right. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of times we don't want nothing from y'all. Some do. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of people out there that's in there for the wrong, but you know the ones. Y'all generally know who's in there just trying to do right. You know what I mean?
No question.
So, and on the flip side of that, sometimes people do, if they are charging something. I know, like, for example, trainers. A lot of times you want training for free. Like, no, you know what? Like, that's a whole nother topic I want to get into.
I know. Just
right.
From a training perspective, right? Let's put the coach to the side for a second.
Right.
From a training perspective, it costs us money.
Right.
Gyms are not free.
Permits are not free.
Right. Equipment's not free.
Right.
Insurance is not free. Right. Like, it's not just, yo, we showing up to the gym and I throw out a couple basketballs and give you some drill. Right. Nah, that's not how it works. There's more behind the scenes to that.
Absolutely.
So it costs.
Absolutely. I'm black, so I got a tongue top. I mean, they're like, yo, so much. I want to touch on that with BG yesterday too, like, as far as, because I know a lot of times, oh, I gotta pay for training. Like, yo, how do you feel? Do you know that the NBA players don't train for free? Like, I don't know why you think, because you see videos, they paying good money.
Listen, they pay good money. They pay good money.
You understand?
Listen,
like, so y'all gotta understand
that.
And then at the same time, it's an investment. You're investing in yourself, investing in your body, and into your trainer. You know why? You're paying. You guys are paying. He gets more equipment. He gets better facilities. It's all so it works hand in hand. I just want to throw that in there real quick. You know what I mean? A lot, we hear that a lot too. Like, well, I gotta pay training. He ain't no. What do you mean? But you want to come to the session? He ain't nobody. You know what I mean? So we gotta do better with each other, support each other, man. You know what I mean? It works hand in hand. You know, we put up a post during this time too. I was gonna make my own video about you know, we don't tear black men down. We pick them up. We gotta live by that. It's not just an Instagram post.
Right.
We gotta really live by that, bro. We gotta live by that, bro. We bring, like, we pick us up, so we gotta start picking each other up, bro. Show love, man. Show love, man. It's enough platform, it's enough basketball players, it's enough everything related to this sport for everybody to contribute positively, bro. You understand? So to talk bad about somebody just to get what you want out of it, it's just, you know, it's a lot of sickness, man. A lot of sick stuff going on. We gotta do better. And I just wanted to real quick touch on that as well. That post, it meant a lot when I read it. I'm like, oh, that's dope. But I seen a lot of people posting. I'm like, do you understand what that means, though?
Right.
Even talking bad about another kid, you know what I mean? It's just, we pick each other up. It's a way to criticize. It's a way to, and I say that too. You hear people talk about kids. That's why I watch my words as well. It's a way to criticize a kid without being a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's decent. He needs to work on this. He ain't that good. Like, nah, bro. Let's do better, because they have feelings, bro. You know what I mean? They have feelings, and we just, like I said, it's about. I'm big on confidence building, and I just wanted to really, really touch on that and make sure we start to live by that. You know what I mean? We pick each other up, right? We strong black men. We pick each other up. We hold each other accountable.
And as we do that, the kids pick up on it too.
Absolutely.
Right? Our mannerisms, the things that we do, they follow. Absolutely. You know, even if it's one thing that they follow, it's something that they're following, and it should be one of the good things. It should not be something that will be perceived publicly as a negative.
Right.
So I think that's that's a great point. You know, and what we do out here, man, you know, honestly, it's like being the second set of parents.
Right.
You know, not for nothing, because there's definitely gonna be some things, and if you don't think that this is possible, you're bugging as a parent. Right. And I'm a parent myself. Ain't no way in the world you think that your child doesn't speak to their coaches, their trainers, their mentors, their handlers, their whatever, about some things that they won't bring to you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you should be grateful as a parent that there's an adult giving them some adult supervision on a problem that they may have that they're not necessarily comfortable coming to you as a parent. And that's something that, to me, I think that's priceless.
Absolutely.
To you know, be honest with you, I think that part of it is priceless, because if my son comes to you and says, Bill, you know, I'm having a problem with X, Y, Z, and you give him some positive adult feedback to that, and now he makes a very good decision, I know that my child is good with you. Absolutely. And I feel better as a parent that when my child's out in this world, if my child can't get me personally, there's at least one other person that he can come to and say, hey, listen, I'm having a problem, and that person is going to help.
Absolutely. And that's why for me too, personally, like I take on the role, even when I coach, I ain't like, they call me coach out of respect, cool, but I'm like, yo, listen, you call me big bro, whatever. Only because it's like, they already have parents. I wasn't trying to be another authoritative figure. They got teachers, they got parents, they got grandparents, aunties. So I'm not trying to come in as another authoritative figure. You know what I mean? I'm not your equal, so to speak, neither, but I'm relatable. You understand? So I'd rather like, and I you know, speak your language. I listen to the same. We are still somewhat relatable, and that's my approach I try to take. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to come and tell you, that's not me. Let's have this conversation. You know what I mean? Like you can talk to me like you can talk to me as if you're talking to your friend, and I won't take it as you trying to, you know what I mean? Not on some over, but like, yo, bro, I don't know, like, because you know you're able to
that
talk,
conversation.
That conversation. Be comfortable,
It has to be an organic conversation.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't come out the right way.
Absolutely. So that's the relationship I try to build with the kids. You know what I mean? I ain't rich. I don't. So my thing is, if I offer some advice, or if I can point you to somebody else, it's about relationships in this business, in the world, period. So it's like, I always say, it's good to reach out, because I may not have it, but I might know somebody that can. You know what I mean? And say, I'm good for that. Yo, listen, I'm no hater. Yo, listen, he might be able to X, Y, Z. I don't know, but I reach out to him because I can't, you know, I don't have it. I have no problem doing that, and that's big. You know what I mean? That's very
networking
important.
is huge. That's what life is. You know, a lot of people, we hear it all the time. You know, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. That is networking.
Yep.
That is the golden rule of networking.
Yep.
You must know people in order to get a foot in the door. Absolutely. And then after that, you make your own way. You know, and if you fail, that's on you. But at least you got the opportunity. Because for a lot of our community, you know, I'm half Dominican and black, and so being of both sides, our community, we don't get opportunities. That's one of the bigger problems that we have. We don't get opportunities. We get very few opportunities, and then when we get on, you know, it's like, Bill got on, yo, you got to bring me along. Right. He ain't got to do nothing. If he chooses to do that, take that opportunity, run with it, and make the best of it. Don't be like, well, you know, it's whatever. No, it's not whatever. You can't make it about whatever. It has to be, you have to be solid. And that's another thing, you know, everybody's like, I'm solid, I'm a solid person. You know, when you're solid, you do things when people are not looking.
Absolutely.
You're not going to go behind Bill's back and talk to his boss, be like, yo, that nigga ain't really that. No, that's not what it is. You cannot do that, and you have to be solid as a human being. And that's one of the bigger things that you have to be in life, and it helps. And all of these things start from sports. Right? It doesn't matter the sport. We talking about basketball because that's what we do. Right. But it comes from sports because there's a certain level of loyalty, there's a certain level of confidence you have in another human being, and there's a certain level of expectation. Because I know if Bill is not rebounding today and that's his thing, I have to check him. I gotta check him. I gotta, yo, you ain't rebounding today. What's wrong with you? And we have to have a conversation about that. And if we can't have conversations, we're not gonna be a good team. Good teams, you know, fortunately, you can see it. Good teams, Golden State Warriors, right? They were winning and winning at big clips because they were all together. Now you have other teams, they weren't together, and it shows. Right.
Absolutely. But before we get up out of here, I wanted to talk on stand bleacher etiquette. Like being in the stands, bleacher etiquette.
Yeah.
Listen, you know me, I'm bad. Like I'm terrible, but actually, you know, I'm all jokes aside, I've gotten way better with it. Like I'm more of a hype man now. Like I channeled that. You know, I learned how to channel it, and just now, you know what? I'm just gonna give people hype. So the team, I just get the team hype, and it's so crazy now, especially doing the podcast. The games, the kids will tell you, I'll be at the games cheering on both. Like, of course I want Bergen to win. But if that's my man, yo, bro, listen, turn up. They know I really like that. Like, so it's not really the thing where it's like, oh, sometimes I talk about shit about the coach, you know, different, whatever. You know, you might, bad decision, whatever. But as far as like, just, what is that? Nah, I'm all hype, man. Let's get everybody hype. Yo, good shot, good defense. Like I said, both teams. If I know some kids and there's a lot of kids that I know, man. So if I'm at a game and even if you playing my bro, they'll tell you like, nah, coach, you like that. Like I'm like, yo, listen. Or if one of my old players is playing, that's happened many times. One of my old players, you playing against their school, I'm like, yo, you better, I don't care, bro. You better kill them. You understand? That's just me. I just love ball. I love competition. I don't care, bro. You gotta roll the ball out. That's it. You go at each other's necks, man.
No question, man. I mean, it's healthy competition, right? Like, it's go out, you know, healthy competition. Guys are gonna go at each other, and you should cheer on. I mean, I've been at games and I don't even know some kids, and a kid might make a good play. I'll be like, yo, that was a good play, yo, good shot, whatever the case may be. I don't know that kid from a can of paint, but at the end of the day, you should always try to be as positive as you possibly can. And it should be like a 90-10 split. Right. You know, like it should be like a 90-10 split. Now that 10% comes from, yo, that guy's a clown. I don't like the way he does this, whatever the case. All right, cool, whatever the case may be. But that's a very small percentage.
Absolutely.
But to answer your question, one of the things that you should always remember is that even though it's illegal, right? There will be a coach sitting in the stands. They might not have on their school apparel, right? So now I'm sitting here and I'm watching Billy's going crazy, talking about his brother, da 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 da. Yo, that ain't this ain't that. Yo, I swear to God, yo, I'm gonna see that coach at the end of the game. Meanwhile, he's sitting right next to me, and we've been recruiting his brother to come to our school.
Real, bro.
You don't know who's who, and people, and I know parents. We don't have time as parents to sit down and live unless you are in that lifestyle or you have that type of wealth. You're not sitting at home every day going through all the coaches, all the recruiters at every college in the entire country. You're not doing that. So you may know a few people, but you don't know a lot of them. And coaches change jobs a lot. So that's one of the things. The other thing is, you know, if you get on refs, it's cool. You know, they're learning like we're learning. It is what it is. But, you know, as far as being disrespectful to coaches, I think that's one of the biggest no-nos. Because at the end of the day, that's just like when you're in the street and you're talking to somebody and somebody spits in your face, that is like the biggest disrespect that you possibly can do. So when you're talking about a coach or talking like just totally crazy, and you say that to a coach, the coach, for example, at the high school, you talk crazy to me, you curse me out, I can't really say nothing back to you.
Right, so it's gonna take on go ahead, not you. Go ahead, bro.
You know, like so at that point, I'm kind of handcuffed, and it's like, yo, I want to say something, but you're being so disrespectful, and now I have to curb myself, and then you perceive that as me allowing you to do so. Right. And then when you have situations where somebody steps out of place, and they come back and they attack that person that's been berating them for a long time. I mean, not to mention his name, but a dude, nice and bald, and I happen to know him personally. He had, you know, there was a parent that was berating him for a whole AAU season, calling him all type of racial slurs, etc., etc., etc. When the season's over, he had to see them hands. Right. And it happened, and that's where people can push you, and unfortunately, you forget we're coaches, but at the same time, we're still human. We're still human beings. We still have feelings. We still go home. We still go home to our families and our friends and etc. etc. And so if you're in the stands, etiquette is poor. Right. You know, the best thing that you could do, if you want to talk amongst your peers outside of any facility that you're in. Right. You know, try to be positive towards your child and any other person's child, because if you were I'm sitting next to him and his brother's playing, yo, that kid is terrible. He got two left feet talking crazy, and you're going to take that personal. So be mindful of that.
Speaking, that happened to me this season. Yo, no funny business. They was subbing. Right. That's what I'm saying. Yo, I keep it real all the time. I throw myself out there because it's real. Right. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'll never be afraid to admit that I make mistakes to this day. Nobody perfect. I might be dropping jewels, kicking knowledge, but everything that I'm telling you, I'm trying to live by myself as well. So I'm not afraid to admit I was the same. Like this season and this situation I'm talking about, it was a sub being made, and I'm like, that's a bad sub. Mind you, this is my dog. I'm not. I would say it was a bad sub because he was coming in for my brother, but I'm like, yo, that shouldn't be the sub. It should be somebody else. Right. So I couldn't explain all that. You know what I mean? So she's like, you know what I'm talking about? So the parent got mad, and everybody around me knew it was funny. They was like, yo, he's not talking about your son. Like, everybody knew what I was saying because we always on the same page. Right. So it's like, no, like, nah, he's not mean. I'm like, yo, that's my dog. You can ask him. Like, I text him on my own. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, with all the kids, I would never. I just don't want to say
situation.
The kids, I didn't want to say the kid's name who I wanted to take out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I wasn't even so I just said bad sub.
Right.
That was my exact no names or bad sub. But I get what she was saying, like how it looked. Oh, but he's coming out. Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. So everybody want to tell her who. And it was funny because that whole section knew. They was like, nah, like he not talking about like they need to be taking out da da da. Like you know what I mean? So. She wound up, you know what I mean? But again, like that's just an example of how something could have just went all the way.
Right, went all
you know
the way
what I mean?
up.
And I had to check myself, like, you know what? It did sound crazy from the outside looking in.
Right.
It did, like, yo. And I'm like, no, but I really didn't mean it that way. And if you knew me, so after the game, I reached out to the kid. He's like, bro, I know. Don't worry about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't even. My mom told me, no, I know, bro. Like, I know you know, it's not nothing like that. But again, I had to check myself, like, you know what? Even in that instance, I shouldn't even said nothing. Like, bad. At the end of the day, the sub was being made. So me yelling out bad sub wasn't changing anything, you know what I mean? So again, like I said, it's learning experience, you know what I mean? I knew better during the time, but it was a playoff game. There's no excuse. You get caught up, yo. We can be human.
We be human.
Human. You get caught up, but I acknowledge it, and I won't. I do my best going forward. Like going forward, I didn't even. I sat, made sure. Let me sit up there. This in case I slip. This in case I slip. Let me. You know what I mean? And they like, yo, why you? I'm like, nah, because they. But I took it that way for myself to bring myself back because I seen like, okay, no, you was getting that. Playoffs came. I was like, yo, I wasn't like that all season until playoffs got there.
Right.
And so I was like, yo, you gotta chill, bro.
Now you're into it because now it's something a little bit more at stake, and that's how it is. And I mean, and that's the same thing. And hence why, you know, at least, you know, especially in the Catholic League, you know, there's a 24-hour rule after games.
Right.
And the reason is because we get just as emotional.
Absolutely.
You know, so like we go in with a good game plan. And oh my God, we had it, we did this, we made a mistake, whatever the case may be, now I'm upset. Or it could have been left in the hands of a referee who made a bad call that particular day. And next thing you know, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to have this conversation with you because I'm already at an emotional high. Although it's at the negative side of that emotional high, I'm still at an emotional high. So now we may not have the conversation the way that you deserve to receive that conversation.
Absolutely.
And so if you don't abide by that, you know, when you don't abide by that rule, it's for everybody. It's not to protect the coaches or because coaches are punks and this, that. No, it's because everybody deserves.
I like that rule. Because your feelings might change. 9 times out of 10, you know what else about that 24 hours? After the day, you're going to have a whole different approach, and even your text going to be different because you're not as mad. That's with anything. You're not as mad. You know what I mean? So I love that. I definitely love that rule, and I definitely embrace that rule because it's 24 hours change anything.
Because spontaneous responses are usually not good.
Absolutely.
They're just like, in general, it's just usually not good. And I mean, no shot at women, but we talk about that all the time. They make emotional decisions in the moment, and sometimes those decisions become bad, and that's the same thing that happens in the sport with coaching. Coaching and parent dynamic becomes so emotional, and if you make that spur of the moment decision, it could be the wrong one, and it's unnecessary because we don't need to do that. We're all trying to enjoy what's going on with the game, what we do as coaches, and the parents enjoying their child, whatever sport that is.
Absolutely. But it's funny though. I think the coach hurt me because he, like, the rest of the playoffs. During pivotal time, like it was funny. I'm like, he hurt me.
Right.
I'm like, I think at that point I was right. I'm sorry, bro. It was just you gotta anyway. But it was just funny. I just thought I'm thinking about it as you was talking. I'm like, you know what's so funny? Yeah. Anyway, but
those things happen, man. But you know, because you don't know who's who, and when you're sitting in the stands, you really don't know. You know, like a friend of mine could come to a game, and you know, he just happens to be my friend. It has nothing to do with anything. It just so happens he coaches at a Division I school. You don't know that.
Absolutely.
We're going to hang out after this. That's what we're going to do. As some young men, we're going out. We're going to go have a beer, whatever the case may be. He just happened to come to the game. He coaches at a Division I college. So you talking crazy, and next thing you know, you just X yourself out. For, you know, unknowingly. So those are the things that you want to kind of avoid. You know, keep it within your own circles. Try not to do it while you're in the stands, etc., etc. And just remember, everybody's human.
Everybody's human. Remember, you got it. And again, like I said, I play both sides because it's good. I like playing devil's advocate. It's because it's to myself because I coach and I got a relative and other kids that I know. So I like to. It's a good conversation to have. And we got to remember, man. It's not just your kid. It is 12 to 14 some teams. There's 12 to 14 other players and relatives because sometimes you got the parent, you got us. It's got my mom. My mom be chilling, but my dad and me. So that's 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot sometimes that the coach got to deal with. And I'm definitely objecting to that. And it's a whole other side of it that we don't necessarily, a lot of us do know, but a lot of us don't know, and that it's really out of their control, so to speak. But we have to understand that sometimes they can't tell you that, but I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times, different situations, coaches' hands be tied. Like, it's not, it is what it is, man. And you can ask these questions to people that you may know if you don't know what I'm saying right now, but it's just a whole other side of it. We like to call politics or the political side of things, where, for example, most Catholic schools across, and I think this is probably across the United States, I might be wrong, but I feel like this is it. Most Catholic schools, you're not playing varsity as a freshman. That's just most. That's my, even in Jersey, the kids that play freshmen on a varsity level, if they played the whole game, their teams was irrelevant. If any team that made it to the TOC, the kid didn't play that much. He might have played 12 or 13 minutes a game. Right. You understand? It's not just because it's not so much skill, it's experience. You can have those in your world, but coming in as a freshman, you're not, and I don't mean in shape like endurance wise. I mean body and frame. Right. It's number one, you taking them hits throughout and then the experience. The experience counts for a lot. So a lot of times, you have other classmen that's playing, you might feel your kids, they might be better, but guess what? He's been here, he knows my system, and he's going to work hard. And a lot of times those kids still eat up a lot of minutes, and we get into that, that's when we get into the, my kid is better, and that's the part that I'm talking about where we need to understand some other side of things, and we can't always just expect the coach to be like, you got to sit down. These kids are paying thousands of dollars in tuition. Now I'm just saying. A lot of you kids are not, some people are not paid. So you got to understand, bro, it's way more to it. I need y'all to really understand that and give some of these coaches, not to give them a break, but understand that is way more to it. Just understand. That is way more to it than just,
there are factors that go into all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
You touched on a few of those things. And I mean, like you said, I don't care if your kid reclass. Right. Doesn't matter. Right. Doesn't matter. No. Right. He doesn't have that experience, because when we go out and, for instance, if this is your first time playing stepping neck, and we're playing at the county center or IONA College, you're not used to that crowd. Right. You're not used to 1,000, 2,000, 2,500 people at a game cheering and booing you versus at a packed high school game, 300 kids. Right. It's not the same. Absolutely. It's very different. So those experiences mean a lot too. And like you said, it's not about necessarily the skill, it's about knowing. And the more you know, the better you're gonna be when you're on the floor, how you perform. So people, man, get these weird I don't even know what like you said, delusions, right? Let's get
an entitlement. Yo, we gotta delusions and an intensive entitlement. Because a lot of times, real quick too, but a lot of times the entitlement comes from the parent. Yeah. Hey, the kid, that sense of entitlement, the kid, they develop that from home. That comes from nowhere but home. Yeah, absolutely. Facts. It starts at home. It starts at home. That sense of entitlement starts at home. So we gotta look at ourselves, parents. You know what I mean? Right. And like I said, this is me just giving my opinion, us giving our opinion. Yep. You know what I mean? You're gonna do what you want, but
right, and you have every right to do so. Right. I mean, because, like, for instance, if you live in somewhat upstate New York, you do have to drive. Right. Right. Like, so driving is a necessity. Right. But for a lot of city kids, they don't always have to drive because they have public transportation. Obviously, New York City has the best transportation in the entire world, and that is a fact. It's not like some made-up thing because I'm a New Yorker. Right. It's an actual fact. And what happens is kids they become entitled just from rides, right? Like, you pick me up, drop me off, and it's like, nah. Listen, if I drop you off in your neighborhood, as long as you're not living in this super dangerous community where there's a possibility that you may get shot, stabbed, robbed, killed, whatever the case may be, I'm not bringing you to your doorstep. Right. You're okay walking 2 blocks and getting to your house. Absolutely. Because especially if I'm dropping off other guys, I need to make a route. And parents, like we know, once you start talking about miles and gas and this, that, and the third, you want to do things smarter, not harder. Right. And so again, it starts with that little thing, and then it manifests itself into what we see as kids get older, going through high school, etc., etc.
Great point. Everybody go down inside. The kid told me one time, I didn't think my wasn't coming cool. Like, I'm just saying, because it's like, you gotta understand, like, it wasn't even that, because I'm thinking it's the Jersey, so I'm like, just meet me right at the bridge so I can hop right. It's right there. Right. And you know what I mean? So it's like, you gotta. So you're right. Little things like the ride, like I didn't even think, because majority of coaches that's doing this, especially if you're doing pick up and drop off, we feeding you, bro.
Right,
we feeding you, right?
You know
what I'm saying?
of course.
So it's like, you know what I mean?
That's the
like,
other thing. It's like, yo, I'm hungry. I've been coaching all day. I'm going back and forth. I'm yelling on the street. I'm talking to refs. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. The crowd is yelling. I'm trying to get you guys to focus on the play. I did a lot of talking. My mouth was dry. Now I'm hungry. I go eat. Yo, sit in the car. Let me go grab some food.
Right.
Who's doing that? As a good-hearted adult, yo, listen, come on. We all going to eat.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're a good-hearted kid, you might pay for yourself, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to come out of our pocket.
Right.
And once again, you don't get paid that much. Right? Like, so all of this stuff that we do is for the love and it's for the benefit of the child. And we just have to start embracing that a little bit more and appreciating a little bit more. And really quickly, a lot of you parents right now, I know you guys we were talking about this earlier, quarantine came, now you're homeschooling, and all that defense of your child is this, your child is that as a student, now you see your child may not be what you thought they were. And that is the same thing with basketball.
Right.
You think that your child is this, but now that you have an opportunity to see it and be around it, etc., now you kind of understand, damn, my kid really isn't whatever it is that I thought it was. And that's just real talk. Because if you say, yeah, my kid works out all the time, my kid this, that, and the third. Now, I do understand that there were facilities, etc. But if you were really trying to get that work, you worked on it on your own, or you did a lot of Zoom, because everybody was Zooming. Zoom was everything. Zoom was life.
Zoom made so much money.
Yeah, they're stuck. Listen, shout out to my guys, Earn Your Leisure, Sean Bilal. That's my guy, and he said the stock on Zoom went up so crazy. People had got in early. They had a crazy return on their investment because they went from somewhere in the 60s to well over 115 per stock. So you made a decent amount of money,
right,
if you rock with Zoom. So Zoom became life. So if you really are about that grind, you're really about that work, you found a way to get it done.
Absolutely.
And because one of the most potent and age-old saying, be ready so you don't have to get ready.
One more time.
Be ready so you don't have to get ready. Because if you're doing that, when you walk in the door, you're ready.
That's it.
You have to do what you have to do what you want to do. I want to go to Duke. I have to do this in order to do so.
Absolutely.
It doesn't go any other way.
That's why I say, baby, stay in the lab. And the lab is not just basketball, right? It's life advancements through books and ball. The lab is where you put that grind in, where you put that work in. The blood, sweat, and tears, whether it's in the classroom or whether it's in the lab, an actual laboratory, you doing a science project, and you in the gym, whether you in church, the lab is different places, baby. Wherever you put that work at, whether your focus is in the football field, the baseball field, the track, that's your laboratory, that's your sanctuary, and that's where you put the pain in, and that's what that's you know what I mean. So that's that.
You ain't
stay ready. So be ready. So you have to stay ready. So you have to be ready. That's what I said it right?
No.
I said it backwards.
It's be ready, so you don't have to get ready.
Be ready, so you don't have to get ready. Feel me?
And that's a big fact, because at the end of the day, man, when you walk, because real quick, a prime example of you're going to whatever college you're going to, you don't want to go in the preseason out of shape, trying to get in shape, because that college workout. You ain't never seen nothing like that.
I tell my brother that
it's levels. You ain't never seen what that's like.
I tell him that all the time. I'm like, yo, the workout we doing, I stopped posting because I'm like, it's not a secret, but I'm like, yo,
right?
Because you're gonna see the difference next season. But yo, the college workout is different. And again, skill and drill is great. It is great, but 80% of y'all is not working on your body, and this is facts. And I don't mean just lunges and squats. I mean not heavy lifting, but you have to start getting in there and lifting, take care of your body. You have to. And I mean heavy on that. Heavy on the pull-ups, push-ups, and dips. Heavy on it. Heavy on the pull-ups, push-ups, and dips. Heavy on the core work. Your core is everything. There's too many ball players with like 2-packs. It's never how. How y'all play ball? Real talk, bro. I'll be like, yo. So my motto this summer is body work, because I know the skill and drill we gonna always do. It's always gonna be there. As far as it's already implemented. That body, you gotta get that body right, man. Wait until you're senior year or going into college. You know you go to college, you have a weight get. They don't make you, so you get your schedule. And this is facts. You get your schedule. So for me, I used to come into school out of shape. Even in the JUCO, so I used to have to come in at my JUCO. I used to have to come in my first class was a gym class. It was a 750 class. Guess what that class was? 3-mile run around the school. I had to do it because I used to come out of shape. So you already have your everybody is plan is predicated to whatever it is that they, you know what I mean? So if you need weight room and you're not going, right, and then you're playing and you're not, whatever, let's say if you getting a little 9 points a game, whatever you're doing, right, and you having a problem finishing and you're gonna sit down because coach will be like, why he's not in the gym? Have a seat, bro. They're gonna know that you're not going in the gym, you're not lifting, it's gonna show, you're gonna sit down. Absolutely. And then I know too many stories like that already.
And mind you, when you get into college, right, now you're a freshman coming in with upperclassmen, and those upperclassmen happen to be grown men.
Grown men.
They're grown men. So there's no like, oh, well, you know, he's just a senior high school, he's just a junior high school, he's not that much big. No, he's much bigger, much stronger, much more experienced.
And they've been doing it for 3 years.
And they've been doing it for 3-4 years.
For 3-4 years.
So now you stress trying to finish on them, and they bodying you and they moving you around, and you thought you was the ish. Mm-hmm. You know, oh, I could dribble, I could do this, I could do that, my handle crazy. You're right, your handle is crazy. But now when they put a little body weight to you, and now you keep turning the ball over, you're dribbling off your foot, you keep getting pushed out of the ball. Yo, you follow me? No. So at the end of the day, you really got to focus on a lot of things. You know, your nutrition. You have to start lifting. You know, a lot of people have this myth that, you know, if you lift, oh, I'm gonna get big and I can't this and no, that's not true.
I'm gonna tell you put up 10. I'm not telling you throw on 30 pounds of plates. Right. And on 300 pounds of plates on each. I'm not acting no.
But you must
dumbbell. Listen, you guys. This is why, and I tell my brothers all the time. Yo, bro, like y'all YouTube the shit out of everything, Google everything else. You can Google that basketball workout, weighted basketball workouts, whatever. You know what I mean?
There's so many. First of all, there's so many different people. Like for instance, right? I got a guy up in Tuckahoe on Transform Fitness, right? By Brian Harrington, right? So he does a lot of strength and conditioning. He's working with tons of guys,
right?
Guys, girls, teams, all that stuff. You know, it's based in Westchester, and so what he does is he gets guys stronger. Now, when I was at Saunders, our kids started going there, and when they started going there, prime example, the kid Keyshawn Miller that's at Herkimer right now. Yo, kid was barely, I promise you, sophomore year, he really wasn't smacking boards like really smacking boards. Finally did a year of that. Yo, kid's a big time dunker. I'm talking about highlight dunks. Right. Like on you, yo, take that, yo, all that. Like swinging, busting you in the head with his feet, all that craziness. And, you know, he put the time and effort into it. And again, shout out, you know, to the former head coach of Saunders that, you know, gave them that opportunity. And they took advantage of it, and he was a kid that took advantage of it. Another kid who was at Franklin and Pierce, Sean Bresnan. Another kid. Now, not that white men can't jump. We know that that's not really true. Right. But Sean was a non-athletic kid, and now he grew. He's a 6'5" kid who can dunk, who can finish at the rim, who wasn't doing that while he was in high school. Again, went to Transform, put in that work, got better, got a little more explosive, a little more athletic, and his game changed. Right, like his game itself changed, and your game will change too if you continue to get stronger, put in the right work. You guys, you know, go through IG, etc., you know, for different trainers and different drills and all that. You know, go to some of these guys that are doing really good work with strength and conditioning and explosiveness. Absolutely. You know, there's tons of guys that do that.
And that's what, like for me, like I, you know, skill and drill, yeah, but I'm big on that part of it. My pops do a lot of strength and conditioning. He incorporates it with the basketball, but for me, I just like focusing on both ways. My project now, which is a little like it's just sculpting his body, like it's sculpting it, and it's not so much to look nice. Like I said, the muscle that we're working on, stuff
that's what happened
basketball, like a lot of back, a lot of shoulders. See, the stuff that, and that's not a secret. You guys should know that as well.
Right.
What muscles you probably using when basketball? What do you need to be strong? Like you need your shoulders and.
Right, that's how you finish.
You see, if you watch the Jordan rules, if you seen like, you know what I mean, if you watched it, then everything that I'm talking about is in there.
Listen, and if you watch Last Dance, they didn't talk about it as much, but if you were really paying attention, you've seen it. Jordan lifted before game. This was his pre-game thing. He had a steak, potatoes, and he lifted pre-game. That was his pre-game regimen. And for the guys who know or didn't know and got to see Last Dance, etc., you understand how great a scorer and player he was, And that's what he did pregame. So if you,
all the players talk about how high, like not players, us, people like, oh, Jordan could fly, but, and this wasn't the Last Dance documentary, it's another one. Jordan has so many documentaries.
Come Fly With Me.
I think it might have been Come Fly With Me, one of the earlier ones. When they was interviewing the players, they would talk about what's one of the things that people don't talk about Jordan. Like, yo, he's so strong. That, like, at first I could see that he wasn't known for that, I guess, with the Bad Boys, you know.
Right.
But this was after that, when he started winning, and they just come fly. And they was like, yo, Jordan, what's one of the things? Yo, he could, nah, he's so strong. Everybody would say, yo, he's so strong. Like, yo, that.
I mean, and it was one of the things they said, you know, a lot of times you see Jordan, and he always does like a little hand bomb and all that stuff. Right, he worked on that.
Right.
You know, like a lot of people don't know, he had hand surgery to remove the webs inside his fingers. Okay. Right, to be able to spread his fingers more.
So the jump shot, that's real. That's crazy.
So he worked on, you know, like his finger strength, so that when he because of course in the latter 80s and 90s, you were able to hand check. Right. So when you were able to be strong and hold somebody's waist, hence why everybody says how Michael Jordan is probably the greatest scorer compared to guys of this generation. Right. It was a different game because he's scoring 30 a game and guys are hand checking you and hacking you and all that stuff. And that's different. You know, like I know when you go to the basket and somebody kind of push you in the waist a little bit, that throws off your shot. Imagine them doing a whole 94 feet. That's a whole nother ball game. You got to be a different type of player with a different type of mentality to be successful like he was. So again, you got to work on it. You know, get yourself a trainer. I mean, shout out to like Tim Grover. You know, that was Michael Jordan's trainer. You know, got him ready for those bad boy years when he was getting clotheslined by Bill Laimbeer, etc., etc. You know, go out there, man. You know, guys like PJF Performance, Transform Performance. There's a lot of guys on IG that do really good work. And you know, wherever you are, whatever's near you, you know, you should look these guys up and really focus on doing these things, because your game is going to go to another level. And when your game goes to another level, you have ammunition when you talk to your coaches. Yo, when they start seeing you, they like, yo, dude is strong. Yo, this dude is shooting better. Yo, he's really doing this exceptionally well. And it's because you worked on it.
Absolutely. So that's strength and conditioning. We already know skills and drills, which most of you do. We see, we know. But just as important, it's 3 skills and drills, strength and conditioning, and nutrition, bro. These 2 though, strength and conditioning, nutrition, y'all don't take serious until it's like y'all already in your second year in college. Y'all gotta, and I know the nutrition part. I know it's tough because it's hard now for me. But see, I tell my brother, I'm like, bro, I'm not playing. Like I'm not trying to get a scholarship to go to school. This is for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like,
and you know, people say it all the time, right? Health as well, because it costs money to stay healthy.
It does, man.
You know, so you have to find a very good mix where if you can get a 60-40, 70-30 split of really healthy food and, you know, the food that you can afford,
right.
That's when you're going to be, you know, a better player. You're going to see it. Your body is going to be better. Everything that you do is going to be so much better. You're going to have a lot more energy. And when you have more energy, that means you can put more pain in the ladder.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Coach Diego, man, I appreciate you, man, for coming on, man. Y'all already know it's the second episode, man, of the Coach's Corner, episode 2. I know the vibes, man. Strap up, get buckets, man. Kill Bill lab work, fellas. Everybody, stay safe. Hope y'all in the lab, man. Appreciate you, baby.
All right, no doubt, baby.
Absolutely. Oh, man, that was good.